Welcome back to Good Day. Okay, you've heard of CPR classes. You've probably attended several number of CPR classes, but what about Stop the Bleed courses? We've got Christine McGahee with us this morning. You are a nurse, but you work specifically in trauma. Yep. And sometimes there are injuries that happen to folks when they're out and about, just minding their own business. Mm-hmm. But a tourniquet is necessary, but we actually need to be trained to use them.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's Stop the Bleed month. We're at the end of our Stop the Bleed month, and we like to go out and teach the everyday bystander how to stop life-threatening bleeding in case an injury occurs. Yes. So what we like to do is teach people how to put pressure on a wound, to pack a wound, and then also to place a tourniquet.
Because there's different times when you might need those things. Okay, so let's say, for example, let's say it's a cut, not a huge cut, but enough where you need to put pressure.
Yeah, all you're going to do is put complete pressure. You can put body pressure down, put it on a hard surface, and push hard until you can get a person to the ambulance or into a hospital to get that taken care of. If you have a wound here that's a little bit of a deeper wound, this is a gash, that you might want to have to stuff, and you can stuff it with gauze if you have it, but if you don't, you can use a t-shirt. That's why we have this shirt can save a life. Anything that you can get into the wound so that you can fill that gap, so you can fill it in, and then you put that complete pressure.
So fill it, then put the pressure.
Yep.
Now, the concern, if it's a t-shirt, does it have to be like a freshly laundered t-shirt, or you just grab what you have?
It doesn't. We can always give antibiotics if we need to, in the if everything turns out okay, we can give antibiotics. So we're not too worried about that. We're just worried about getting the blood. So when you have a wound that's really deep, your blood vessel that is injured is at the bottom of this hole. So you have this wound that is hollow, and the object is to get something in there so that it can actually press against that artery and then stop that bleeding.
Okay, so that's the case that you're saying here with something that this is a weapon was used.
Yep.
And I'm actually reaching inside. That's what happens to the muscle. It actually expands.
Yep. You get a hollowness inside.
And that's what you need to fill.
Right, because if we looked at it here, this is just a small wound.
It looks like a surface
But if you start to put your gauze in there, you can see how much gauze you can really get in there.
Yeah.
So once you get all that gauze in there, that's when you're going to then put your pressure, and that gauze is going to fill up that hole and then put pressure against that
That makes it more effective.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about using a tourniquet, because a lot of us have seen it on TV and movies and stuff. You just grab a belt and you wrap the belt around and use that as a tourniquet. But in a pinch, that's fine. But that's not really what you really want folks to do.
Right. Yeah, we want people to have access to tourniquets. And when you go into a lot of businesses now, you will see that they have, next to their AED machines, they have their tourniquet kits up on the wall as well.
It's a new law.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And so we want to teach people how to use tourniquets so that they can use them effectively.
Okay. Do you want to teach me how to use one on John?
Sure.
Mr. Davkovich, can you bring your limb over, please? Appreciate
One thing I learned watching this, I could never have been an ER doctor, because when you just were putting the gauze in, I was like, oh my gosh,
I know.
I can't.
I know.
All right. So we're going to say that we have a wound maybe right here. So big gash, right?
Okay.
All right. So you want to get the tourniquet at least 2 to 3 inches above that, because if you have a gash and you have an artery, it's going to retract up a little bit. So you want to be above that artery. Okay. And so you're going to put the tourniquet above 2 to 3 inches, and then you're going to pull it as tight as you can here.
Feel that?
Yeah.
And then you're going to put the Velcro on.
Okay.
Then you're going to turn your clasp until the bleeding stops.
Oh,
Bleeding stops. And then click it in. And then you're going to put your tab over and use a pen if you can to put the time, so that the physicians at the hospital will know what time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you mind if I
you want
if
to
I
try
give you
it?
another squeeze?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to undo here. Okay.
Oh, I feel the blood. I'll go
feel
back
the
into my
pressure
hand.
Okay, so that's the gash. I'm
Right
going
there.
2 inches above.
Ow, Courtney, help me.
I got you, John.
And that's one thing you do have to remember. It does hurt, so it's not going to feel good to the person.
But hey,
But if it's
listen,
saving a life.
yeah, I mean,
Ready?
at that point, your options are,
Yep.
okay.
Sorry. Save your life.
Time's
now.
of the essence.
Here, and then twist.
Get to twisting.
I'm scared. I don't want to twist too
Keep
hard.
twisting.
this
You're
out.
fine.
Twist, twist, twist. and then
Oh, I
hook
see.
it
Put
in.
that there and then put that
Yep.
there. Okay. All right. And
You
then
just
I put
saved
the
his
time.
life.
You good?
She's done it many times.
All right. If people
Metaphorically.
want to get details on classes.
Yep. StopTheBleed.org is nationwide. Classes are available, including ours and here in Sacramento at Kaiser Permanente, South Sacramento. And so you can go on StopTheBleed.org and look for classes in your area.
Awesome.
So if you have a cousin in Washington that wants to take it, you can get them signed up as well.
Fantastic.
But please join us. We have classes once a month at Kaiser Permanente, so
All right.
we invite you in.
Well, we're going to link it all to our website under show info and today's date on our website, from fresh wounds to